So in this video, I'll just take you through the upgrades to this toolbar that we've done. Basically, when you first install the latest build, or when the new release is at the end of the year, by default you'll come up with these tool strips and icons. You may not notice by looking at it, but these are actually broken down into 5 different tool strips. So you can actually drag each one of them around, so you can put them on different rows, right? And they're broken into different areas. So like this is the playback tool strip, this edit tool strip. So you've got undo, redo, cut, copy, paste. You got your audio tool strip, the view tool strip, and the tools tool strip. We'll just have a look at these. Most of these are pretty well exactly the same as how you saw it before. There is a couple of modifications. Like before with the audio, you used to see obviously a label. For instance, this is the timing speed. So if I just grab a audio file, just to enable that. Right, so now they've got an audio file, these are enabled. So previously you would have a plus and a minus, and then you would have a label that changed the percentage. So we've done away with that label and the percentage to try and minimise the amount of space that's being used. So at the moment now we've got this middle one here, which basically says 100%. So that is basically scaled your audio 1-to-1 speed. Alright, so as per normal. Previously you used to have the plus and the minus buttons to adjust that. So we can do that 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%. But what we've also added in here is, while you're over the top of this like speedo type dial, is you can actually use the scroll wheel of your mouse. So scrolling up will increase the speed of the audio right up to 400%, and scrolling down would obviously decrease the audio right down to 10%, to slow it right down. If you quickly want to get back to 100% or normal speed, just click the mouse button once and it takes you straight back to that speed. If you want to get to maximum speed, because you might want to move quickly along the audio bar, just double click. It takes you straight to 400, and then you can just single click, it takes you back to 100. So with the scroll now, you don't actually need these plus and minuses, because you can just use the scroll. So what we've also done with the toolbars is you can actually hide the ones you don't use. So if you right hand click, say the audio one, do show hide, it'll show you the as you can see there, the buttons that are included in the audio tool strip. So if you don't want to see it, for example, you don't need the minus or decreased timing and increased timing speeds anymore, you just click on it and you'll see that it disappears out of the tool strip, and also it no longer has the white border box around the icon. So you've got these 3 that are left. So further to this, we've also changed the audio devices. That was actually quite long in the toolbar, so it took up quite a bit of room. So basically now we've just got this symbol here, or button, and you just click on it and it does a drop down, and it'll give you a drop down of all your audio devices, and you just click the one you use. Right, so we've saved quite a bit of space with that. For me personally, obviously I've only got the one on this laptop, pardon me, so obviously I can then hide the audio devices button because it doesn't get used. The idea of all this and hiding is obviously a lot of people don't use some or a lot of this stuff, so it basically increases the amount of space you'll end up having so you can sequence. So I give you mine, for example, is I don't actually use any of these in the tool strip. So what you can do is right hand click toolbars, and they're the ones that are activated, the ones with the checkbox, as you can see up the top there. And then you've got all these new ones also that by default aren't visible. So as I said, for the mode, that one here, there's the mode, not tools. So for example, if I uncheck the mode, that one disappears. What else? Also, I don't actually use the cut, copy, paste, so I can hide them. And I actually don't use any of these play buttons either. So as you can see, I'm reducing it down quite a bit, so get rid of playback. What I do use though, now up here, is the new tool strips that we've got. Okay, we've got a file tool strip, so you can click on that. There's a number of buttons here. You've got your save, save as, right, your auto save. You can turn that off and on. If I click there, you'll see the white box. That means it's enabled, so it's going to auto save. Uncheck it. Here you've got export, so that'll bring up your exporting to say FPP, exporting the sequence, and the power button or the close. This will just close your sequence. So you don't really have to come up to the main menus anymore with that. However, with that, obviously, I don't use the save as, auto save. I always have off for myself, and export. Obviously, you don't use that too often anyway. So I untick them as well. So then I also go ahead and move these around. The zoom in, zoom out. Right, I don't use that at all either. So I can undo, get rid of that. That's the view one. So as you can see, I'm pretty well left with these few buttons here. What I do now though is add in some of the others. So the effects one, so that just puts all the effects on the line there. Same with these, you can hide some effect buttons. For instance, obviously you've got your basic effects, pixel effects and devices. I rarely use devices, so I hide them, and in pixels there's the waveform, VU meter, vertical meter, tree. So as you can see, there's a few of these that I really never use. And if I do want to use it, I can bring it back in. So the beauty of that is I can hide some of these effects. Now, this was obviously previously explained earlier because this effects one has been on there for a while. This is mainly the ability now to move these all around. So as you can see there, now I've got one row, which has obviously quite a bit of information in it. But also what you can do there is now, well, previously obviously you could get rid of the labels, which makes it smaller again, and then also decreases the size of the actual tool strip. So the option that we put in all these other tool strips as well is you can actually right click and toggle image size. So if you want to create some more space, you can actually make them smaller. From there, I also now have all the libraries. So we've got the color library, curve library, and gradient library. Right, so I have all them on by default. As you can see, it's just added them row by row. However, as it is, I can then drag them to wherever I want, put them on two separate rows, or if you've got enough room, obviously you might be able to fit them on the one row. What else have we got? We've also got an alignment tool strip now. Alright, so some of the alignment features, when you right click, I don't have effect there, so I can't get in. So I'll just add a couple. Oops. Alright, right click. So some of these alignment ones here, you're able to now do up at this top here. The reason why we haven't included all of them is a lot of these are based on the actual mouse position where you've right clicked. We will be looking at adding them up the top in the future, and it'll be based on where you last clicked, where the cursor is. So it's an alignments one. Once again, you can hide and show some. What else haven't we showed? The tools. Alright, this is the actual, you can get into lip sync from here. The curve library. So this one here. Same with obviously color collection library. So it's a bit different to the actual color libraries we've got up here. So I'll just turn that off as well. Now the beauty with these having the libraries up here is obviously you're saving quite a bit of space. You don't have to have those three docking forms up, taking up valuable real estate down here. You can do everything in here is what you could do before. For example, just left click and drag, and you can actually move the position of the effects or of the curves around. Same if you wanted to group them by colours or something like that. Like for example, if you just wanted to put solid colours next to each other, you can do. This is the gradient one. You can double click to edit. You can right click which brings up, you can create a new gradient, you can edit the gradient, you can delete that gradient, import, export, all the same things as what you could do in the actual docking form. Now with these, you can also hide them as well. You probably wouldn't really do it with these actual 3 libraries, but to keep consistency, you can come in here and hide the ones you want, so hide the white, blue, red. Now you can do an easy reset on all these tool strips by just hitting reset toolbar, and that unhides them all. Same with all the others. So yeah, so obviously you can drag any of these down to your effects. And once again, if you've got a gradient or a curve over here or something, you can actually drag it up there to add as well. So if we wanted to add this curve, because you created one down there, you can drag it in there and it appears at the end. And then obviously you can drag it wherever you want. So that's probably it for that. If you did have, for example, the curve library window open or any of the other 2 libraries open, any changes you make in this will be automatically updated with tool strip and vice versa. Alright, so for example, I've moved this, what is it, the one I created. If I just move that down, you'll see that moved. Same with here, we've got this line at the start. If I move that to the second last, you'll notice that it's moved to the second last position. Same with deleting. I decided to delete a bunch of these. They obviously will disappear up there. All these positions are obviously saved. So next time you load up, they'll all be in the right position, the right one's hidden. Yeah, what else have we got? So that's probably about it for now. Yeah, if there's any anything you think that you do that you do all the time that you want a quick button up here, it's pretty easy for us to create that button up there and include it. So just raise a ticket, the Vixen bugs, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks.